We came up there that Sunday and changed those batteries.
Might flip over to the minutes because the minutes were in your email packet. I forgot to get them.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Glad to see you walk in.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, we're good.
Are we ready?
Yep.
Okay, we'll call the Springfield Planning Commission meeting May 2nd, 2019 to order and stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we are ready to call the roll.
Mr. Townsend, Mr. Poole, Ms. Woodard, Mr. Allen,
Here.
Mr. Hollingsworth, Ms. Mason,
Here.
Mr. Sneed,
Here.
Mr. Powell,
Here.
Ms. Boyd.
Here.
5 members present. We do have a quorum.
Okay, do we have a motion for approval of the minutes from the April 4th meeting?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Wanda second with a nod. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes will stand approved. Under new business, item number 1 is rezoning Main Street Church of Christ and Springfield Baptist Church properties. Is there a motion to put this on the floor for discussion?
So moved.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. What have we got here, Dave?
The Main Street Church of Christ has come to us and has requested that their properties that they own that front Main Street and Willow Street be rezoned to core commercial CC. And Springfield Baptist Church is already zoned core commercial CC, and where their parking lot is where Springfield Baptist Church's parking lot is on 4th Avenue, that is zoned RS10. RS10. It's zoned RS10. And so they have agreed to allow those 3 parcels to be rezoned to CC. So, got 2 owners, got 2 zoning classifications. So the parking lot, the 3 parcels across the street that they own, where they have some of their business offices and a parking lot, that's all RS10. So they want to rezone all of that to CC as well. Now, they are in the process of combining their 5 parcels that front Main Street and Willow Street into one parcel. So they don't have to worry about property lines or any of that stuff. They've marked all the easements, all the utilities. What this is going to allow them to do is build a little bit bigger, a little bit taller, but they still have to meet their parking requirements. So they're not going to be allowed just to get out of control, because they're going to have parking requirement for their structure there. So, but it will allow them to do a little bit bigger and build a little bit closer to the sides of their lots. I assume a church will be a very good neighbor when it comes to development of their property.
They do the parking according to the capacity in the sanctuary?
Seat per so many per seat.
Yes.
Does the Church of Christ own the little house that's on the square side of the parking lot across Main Street?
No.
By the old phone building there?
No.
No, that's, well, actually, Mr. Woodall was the owner and he was selling it.
Right. And it's the only parcel that will remain RS10 in that block of 4. It'll be a little island, RS10, right up against R10, right up against RS10.
And we did ask him about that, but with him already having a contract on it and fixing to close on the property, he did not want to go ahead and rezone that property. He said that that would be something for the next owner to be asked about.
But we can just as easily slip that little lot into the RS10, which is more protective of that area, single-family residential only, as opposed to the R10 classification. And we can ask that property owner if they want to do it when they actually take possession.
The Baptist church owns the house there?
No, they do not.
The one on Fourth Avenue?
No, they don't,
They
at the
don't,
corner,
okay.
no. There's speculation that at some point in the future they will. But they only own, their parking lot is those 3 parcels, and those are the only parcels that they own.
Okay.
So Exhibit A shows the 3 parcels on the west side of Main Street that are RS10 and will be coming CC. Exhibit B shows the 5 parcels where the church is set proper that they own. It fronts Main Street on the east side of Main Street and the west side of Willow. And those are the 5 parcels that they're going to combine into 1 parcel. And then Exhibit C shows the 3 parcels that belong to the Springfield Baptist Church that are presently zoned RS10 that will go. So those 3 parcels have got to go so that everything the Church of Christ has is now, it's a one contiguous zone. And staff recommends approval.
Dave, what's the status on lots 17, 18, 19 on the west side of Main Street? What's that about?
17, 18, and 19, that's in Exhibit A. Those are presently zoned R10. And the Church of Christ is asking that they be rezoned to CC, Core Commercial.
And what's the purpose? There's basically residential homes over there. Why are we wanting to change that to a commercial zone?
It is in that commercial area is going that way. We allowed that parking lot. They run some of their mission work out of there.
The church office is over there, too.
It's over
isn't it?
there, and I think there's a benevolent place over there, and then there's a parking lot.
Right.
That used to be in the historic district, and they requested to pull out. I guess because of this rezoning thing here.
Well,
So you got the old
But
phone company.
that was several years
So
ago.
the phone company place is on lot 21 on the corner.
yes.
And there's a house next to it that's being sold.
The parcel 21 is already commercial.
Right.
But
And then
20 is gonna stay.
20 will
remain as
stay
it is.
residential as of right now, just
Yes.
because of the way it was, he was already had a contract on it, and he didn't want to go
As
ahead
small
and.
as that lot is, if he ever does allow that to go commercial, he's kind of boxed himself in.
Or like I said, he could protect his residential status by we can slip him into the RS10 as well.
Because it touches it.
I mean, we're going to skip around, and he's going to be like a little island.
He's going to be a little island of R10 surrounded by CC and RS10. He'll touch both.
And the reason for doing all this is,
They have requested it.
You say they were remodeling or adding on?
At some point, they're gonna expand their building. They're just making provisions to go ahead and do that by combining those 5 parcels where their church sets proper and getting it rezoned so to a more to a zoning classification that'll allow them to achieve the goals that they want. But like I said, they can only get so big a building before they negatively or impact their parking to where they can't. There's a balance there.
They have to have so much green space to go along with their parking?
Not in the CC, but they do have to meet a landscaping requirement. Everything that's not paved or sidewalked has to be landscaped, grass.
And with them wanting to build on at some point, they're cleaning it up. There'll be no parcel lines for them to go across. That was one of the things about them combining all the parcels together into one plat. And then when Joe King came and talked to us and he was requesting, talking about the CC zone, I said, well, the CC allows you, you don't have the setbacks, as much setback as you do in what you have currently. So that's one other reason that they were requesting the CC zoning. And then when they did that, I talked to Springfield Baptist because they have already, their main church is already CC, and I told them that just to clean it up, those 3 parcels between them and the Church of Christ, would need, I wouldn't say would need to be, but it would look better, or it would be more of a better flow for them to be all the same zone.
And to give you a point of reference, the Springfield Baptist Church on the on the north side of 4th Avenue, their building is right up next to that sidewalk. That's what CC zoning can allow. So they could build right up next to this parcel, the Springfield Baptist Church parcels. But if they don't build up to it, they have to leave a 10-foot landscaped strip. So you either run up to the line or you have to stay back 10 feet.
Is there property taxes being paid on the residential properties now?
I don't know that answer. I mean, you talking about residential, they're over on the other side?
Right, because if they're standing as residentials,
I don't-
and then we rezone it into core commercial, is that gonna be put it into a tax exempt status?
It's already,
It's already tax exempt because they're a
If it's
church.
being rented,
it's not.
It's an
They're not.
office and where they have a
But they have
food
a
bank
food
and a
bank.
parking lot is what they have. They're not renting anything.
I mean, a church could own the house, and if it's not
I
being used for a
understand that, but
church, it doesn't
they
pay
did
tax.
on the house, but they turned it into an office. And then they also have a food bank that I don't know if it's the same building, I think it is, I don't know about that, but then they have the parking lot. But as far as I know, they're already tax exempt.
Right, so there's no residential activities here, this has all been used commercial.
Yeah, they began that action, I want to say, easily right around the time that we moved forward with the historic district. It's been a while since they've had that parking lot.
Right, yeah. I'd have to go look at a site plan.
I move for approval.
A second.
Yeah, I think Springfield Baptist owns property on the other side of Willow Street too, though.
Yes,
They got
they
a
do.
parking lot back there and a vacant lot.
Right.
But that's gonna stay.
Yeah, they need that parking.
Yeah.
And these guys will need parking too. Like I said, it'll be a fine balance between how big a building they can build and meet their parking requirements.
Okay, any other comments, questions?
You got
Is there a
first and
motion?
sec- You've already
Yeah.
got it. First
Oh,
and
I
a
do.
second.
Yes, you do.
And a second.
And a second.
Well, we're ready to vote then.
Okay. Ms. Boyd?
Yes.
Ms. Mason?
Yes.
Mr. Sneed?
Yes.
Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Passes 5-0.
All right, the next item, item number 2 is Sleepy Hollow subdivision Phase 5. Is there a motion to put this on the floor for discussion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're on the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. In an effort to keep things moving ahead, we try to use our crystal balls to the best of our ability, and because we have to put our notices out 2 weeks in advance. And to make a long story short, Sleepy Hollow is not quite ready to go. So 2 things can happen here. One, we can remove it and bring it back next month when it's ready, and that's what we would prefer to do. The second would be to approve it contingent on all of that. And it's the commission's privilege to move forward however they would like.
Okay. What's the pleasure of the board here?
You don't have to do it, if you don't want to do, you don't have to make a motion to do anything. We just discussed it. So,
I'd say they need to get ready.
okay, so
Contingent move.
we can just move on, let it die a slow, painless death on this agenda, and we'll bring it back next month.
All right.
Okay.
Item number 3 is Village Green, Phase 4, and that's a bond. Is there a motion to put this on the floor?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Village Green, Section 4, we're moving forward with that. Ms. Reyes is here representing Reyes Construction, who is the developer and owner of that section. They are, the bond amount is $245,000. They have not yet given us a surety instrument for that amount, but that $245,000 amount was calculated assuming that the base stone and the binder course is installed. And I understand they started the binder course, laying the binder course today. So, we believe that y'all can approve this contingent, because, you know, you're recommending to the board, contingent that they have the binder course installed completely, and that they get us a surety instrument by the 21st of May, which is the board meeting. And hopefully they'll have it to us before that. And then that's when the bond will kick off. And they are also presently trying to wrap up, put their finished course down. They're getting the layout for the street lights on that Section 3 to get it wrapped up. We're still waiting to see the HOA agreement for the townhomes that Pam LaChapelle came and discussed with you guys at the last planning commission meeting. So, you know, there's a lot going on right there. But the more goes on, quicker we get it done, quicker we get that thing wrapped up, and more happy the Reyes Construction Company is. So our recommendation is contingent on the installation of the binder and the production of a surety instrument for $245,000 before May 21st.
David, you're talking about the binder, you're talking about laying down puds on the road.
They've already put the base stone down.
Is that what you're?
No, the base stone is the pug, is what you're calling. Then there is a 2.5-inch binder course that goes down. It's a rough aggregate asphalt layer.
Okay, it's the base to the sand, more sandy asphalt.
Right, it's the base to the finish course.
What'd you call it?
Binder.
Binder.
That's
It
more
binds-
for- More for construction
Right.
traffic.
It binds the base
Right.
together.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, I never heard it called that.
Right,
The,
and then so and then as they approach the end of the project, they'll finish off their sidewalks, put the final course on, put their street lights in, and then for the first time since 2006, we're getting ready to take a maintenance bond.
Right. Well, I see that, that subdivision is down Black Patch.
Yes, sir.
What's the name of that subdivision?
Eden Point.
They've already got foundations and block built, and it just looks like Crusher Run out there on the road.
Base stone. According to the subdivision regulations, we cannot build, or we cannot issue building permits until they have base stone, which has been proof-road and tested per the subdivision regulations by the Public Works Department, which they have. They cannot get certificates of occupancy until the binder course is in and the curbs are in and all the other utilities are in.
Well, I just drove out there a few hours ago.
Yeah,
It's got a lot of stuff going on.
he's got a lot of stuff going on.
With just rock out there on the road.
He's got eight permits issued. He's got 5 more that we're not,
That's a different subject. I was just comparing that to what we're being asked to do here. I understand.
well, he bonded. You keep in mind, You do not have to bond a subdivision. You can do all of your improvements. Once you do all of your improvements, and that includes the final course, we will accept it. You give us a maintenance bond on that, and then we'll register that plat, and you can start selling lots. Or you can issue a bond. Eden Point issued a fairly large bond for that section because it was nothing but before they started, the base stone wasn't even down.
Move for approval on the Village Green contingency plan.
Contingent on they finish the binder course and that they get us a surety instrument for $245,000.
I second that.
Okay. We got a motion and a second. We ready to vote?
Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Ms. Boyd?
Yes.
Mr. Sneed?
Yes.
Ms. Mason?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Passes 5-0.
We do have one add-on request. It's Northcrest Medical Campus request for approval of an ambulance entrance sign. Is there a motion to add this to the agenda tonight?
Add to agenda.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Dave.
We'll let Miss Head handle this one. We'll let Miss Head handle it.
Oh, okay.
She's our sign, my ordinance.
Well, basically,
Guru.
especially with medical campuses and educational campuses, universities, we have a contingency that they can pretty much ask for whatever size sign they want. I mean, it doesn't really have to meet the current regs of every other sign for a business because it is a campus. And so different entrances for the hospital have different uses. Like this one is specifically where the ambulance is supposed to enter, and then the 500 building as opposed to the main entrance where you and I would go if we were going in there. So they sent this to me, and I told them, and I said, well, we've got to get it to the planning commission. They have to approve it. And that's just something that was put into the sign ordinance that allowed us for, if something did not meet the regulations, it could be.
They're asking for a variance.
No, not a variance. It's just that you all can approve a sign for a medical campus or an educational campus as opposed to me just having a staff signing it and telling them they have to meet, whether it's 32 square feet or 45 square feet.
A campus is a different thing.
A
than
campus
out on
is
the city
considered
street.
a different thing than just say, a standalone commercial business or a standalone commercial shopping center.
Right, that makes
Anybody could
sense.
come and ask for a variance, that'd be the same thing. It's just written in the road for them, but.
Well, I
Right.
mean,
And it's based on y'all's approval.
right.
And this particular sign is a 8 by 5, so it's 8 square feet larger than our maximum requirement.
Well, I would hope it would be.
So it could be
For an
seen.
ambulance, yeah.
Yes, and they need this.
Yeah, the ambulance is on the
back
backside.
side.
Yeah. And I mean, of course, they did all this after they wanted to do it after the road improvement and everything like that was done. They did have a small sign, I think, at one
was
time
good.
there, so.
I'll paint some lines in the street right there.
I'm sorry?
I'll paint some lines in the street right
Oh.
there about the hospital.
Would help.
I think I've seen some in Nashville that
I
have it in
think-
the street, hospital ambulance entrance and arrows and stuff.
Yeah.
I think so, there's gonna be a light right there.
And you've probably seen it on streets owned by Metropolitan Nashville. I don't think you will see something like that on a state highway, but I could be
Okay,
wrong.
that's right, that's probably right,
But we could probably get permission from the state to do that if you want to.
No, I got the flashy blinky light flashing the stoplights on the ordinance this third time I've tried to get the lights flashing. I've got that, we'll see if we can get that done.
I make a motion to approve.
Yeah, I second.
Okay. There's no other discussion, we're ready to vote.
Ms. Boyd?
Yes.
Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Ms. Mason,
Yes.
Mr. Sneed,
Yes.
Mr. Allen,
Yes.
passes 5-0.
And evidently, the Board of Zoning Appeals doesn't have anything on their agenda in May.
No, sir. One other thing I would like to discuss with you, though, is, and we can, I want to kind of nail it down tonight if we can. We've got to start the training process again. We got to get all of you 4 hours of training. So Mr. Allen had given us a contact, Jane Coleman Cotton. She's a historic preservation specialist, and we can get her here on August the 1st for some training. So we can set something up. I got a little bit more money in the budget, hopefully, to do more training, so we can get her here, do some sandwiches maybe, or we can reach out to her and ask her to tentatively save that date, and we can discuss it further at the June meeting. I think 2 months, you know.
I think that's a good idea. We'll have more of our board members here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So y'all think about it, but I need to get you some training, and what better, and we're going to invite the Historic Preservation Commission and the BZA, because the BZA has to have that same amount of training as you guys do. I don't know that the Historic Preservation Committee does, or Commission does, but I'm sure they'd be very interested in her presentation, so we'll make sure that everybody's invited.
So what are you thinking as far as beginning time?
It would be right after this meeting.
Oh, for 4 hours?
No,
No.
her presentation would be maybe an hour, hour and a
okay.
half max. No,
Okay.
no.
We
We're
wouldn't
gonna
do
do, you know, we'll do it in
Increments.
yes, palatable chunks.
I'd like to know more about what Gina sent us the other day. You know, the email you sent us about the Clarksville zoning and the urban sprawl, and I'm big on that. I think it's a great way to move.
Well, I didn't read the whole thing, so I thought you guys would like to see what's going on, but basically, it really hit me, it kind of just popped out at me whenever I was reading it, about this is the reason that, you know how many infill lots that we have done and have sold, and people have, tore down houses and put new homes into there, and that just sort of helps with, I'm trying to think of a place where there's more sprawl, and when you say sprawl, there's a subdivision here, there's a subdivision here, and it takes up, as they're saying, it takes up the agricultural land. And with us being an agricultural community, I don't want to see us doing that, because to me that takes away a lot of viability from the farmers, the community, from us just helping feed the nation. And
I can give you an example of where the sprawl is she's talking about. There are several McMansion subdivisions inside of Brentwood proper that have 1-2 acres, and they've got 500 houses in them. They chewed up 1,000 acres.
yeah,
And so the infield, like Gina says, we've got several contractors that are very good at hunting those lots out and building new on them, and helping raise the community in that smaller area up. So we've made, if you get the opportunity, go down 17th, go down 16th, go down Matlow. There's the Riazes, Jim Moore, Brandon Frank. They've all built right there. So they've put in nice little bungalows that are, they're selling them almost as quickly as y'all can build them.
and Alan, if that's something, and that's just the reason I sent that out, is to get conversation. If that's something that we're really interested in, then we can probably do a training on that as well, because I grew up in Hardin County. That's a big agricultural county and everything. And I hate to see all of our farmland to go into homes, even though we need homes, but we just don't want them all that land just to completely go away.
And you're going to see the biggest rezoning request I think that you guys will see anytime soon is gonna be an R15. You might get lucky and see an R20, but you're not gonna see R40s anymore. R20s are, you know, for most
We
people
haven't-
today, I don't wanna mow a 20,000 square foot yard. So you're gonna see 15,000, you're gonna see like Eden Point, RS10, RS15, and you know, that's the way we probably should go, is the RS zonings for the single-family residentials that don't allow duplexes or multi-residentials. We're not set up very well. You know, at some point, we need to get with other cities and look at our planned unit development section. It didn't, the last couple of times we did it, it didn't go well for the city of Springfield. We need to come up with a better way to do mixed residential and mixed commercial together. You know, because that's the big thing. I had a conversation with a woman yesterday at the Historic Park. She goes, when are you gonna build condominiums, mixed use, where I can get my hair done and I can go get a sandwich and I can do all of this just walking? Because, you know, I'm ready to retire. And I said, we got it on the books, but I don't know when it's gonna happen. You know, that's what people are looking for. I mean,
I want to build at the Woodard School. I want my board to do something like a Tennessee Teachers Credit Unit, multi-story business units on the bottom, had plenty of parking, could do multi-story and have like a teacher's retirement center right there, but well, they want to give it away.
yep. We would have worked with the board to rezone that. I feel confident that the planning commission would have worked with the board to rezone that, to do that.
All right, I've got to go.
Okay. Well, that was just the last thing, so we'll keep it in mind, talk about it again in June. New planner starts Monday, Kimberly Atlee. Feel free to come by and welcome her. We hope to have her up and trained and in the deep end doing a strong dog paddle by maybe 9 months from now. It's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of information to digest, and so we're going to get her up to speed as quickly as we possibly can.
And where is she coming from?
She's coming from Allen County in Scottsville, Kentucky is where she was last employed. She was their planning commission director, executive director. They do things a little bit, they actually hire, their planning commission is a combined city-county, and it's funded through, it was funded through the city and the county, so the planning commission actually hires the director. So she was their staff of one.
How many years?
2. And she has a background, she has a bachelor's of science in geography, and she has training in Ezra, geographic information software mapping, system mapping, so she's going to be a big asset to the city because all of our departments are moving into that. And it's just, so we've got to get on board with it as well and get all of that information into one central area. But we're, you know, one bite at a time.
Anybody got anything else? Any other business? We'll stand adjourned.
Thank y'all. Y'all have a good rest of the week. Don't forget, First Friday markets, or Friday, starts this Friday.